Okay, this is episode 2 of the Transform Your Finances in 2025, and we are going to be doing your financial audit. So we've laid the groundwork on the previous episode where we looked at your current life as well as what you desire your life to look like. And I'm assuming that you did take the time to write out what is it that you want to see happening in your life. So now that you've got that out of the way, I want you to now go deeper. I want us to go deeper and look at your finances. Let us look at what has your finances been looking like in the past year, so that when we are planning for the year ahead, which is 2025 and beyond, that we have a clear understanding of where we are standing. Because you cannot plan from nowhere. You need to know where. You need to first have foundation. Then from that foundation, you can build going up. That's definitely what we are going to be doing today. We are going to be laying further groundwork, and we are going to be making sure that everything is making sense. For me, this and the previous episode, the first episode, it is the groundwork, it is the foundation. And as I said on the first episode, make sure that you've got your book and your pen, and let us get into it. Okay, for anyone who is new here, you may be wondering, who is this gal? This is Uchennifer Nxumalo. I'm a public servant, a content creator, as well as a businesswoman. I largely create content on personal finances, career, as well as lifestyle. If any of these pillars are attractive to you and something that you want to learn more about, please make sure that you join us by clicking that red subscribe button on the bottom, and also don't forget to smash that like button, because it indicates to YouTube that you enjoy my content. Thus they push it to more people to watch and enjoy. So let us get into it. As I said, today we're going to be doing our financial audits. I want us to go deeper and look at the state of our finances. Where are we sitting, so that we can properly plan ahead? We can't plan from nowhere. So what are the things that you are going to need, tools that you are going to need? You are going to need your journal, or you are going to need any notebook. Here you don't need your every cent financial journal, because that is for just your month-to-month planning and your quarterly and also your goal setting. But right now I want us to review, I want us to audit your finances. So what I did was I had created this perfect guide last year in 2023, which was available in 2024 on my website. I then later took down, because obviously we were in the year now, there was no need for us to be doing that. And so I am bringing it back on my website. If you had never purchased it before, or you're new to this, you will be able to buy this guide on my website. This is a perfect tool for this financial audit. It will take you through each and every step. So this tool is retailing for $150 on my website. It is a digital guide, meaning that you will then get it and then download it. Then you can be able to print it and work on it, or you can work on it on Excel from your computer. But I will say, print it out, sit down, take your calculator, take your pen, and actually look at your finances. Also bring closer your bank statement, or your look at your app, on your banking app, and just review your finances, because we are going to need that information for you to have a clear understanding on where on how your finances are looking. So that is the tool that you are going to need. You don't need this tool, but if you want it, you can purchase it. It's retailing for $150 on my website. If you don't have the $150, but you definitely want to take part in this exercise, you can just take your book, your notebook, your calculator, your pen, and take the notes as I'm going through the video, and then you can then do the exercises after. As I said, this series is not about being passive and just watching the content and enjoying it, but rather this is a series whereby we are planning for our lives. I'm going to be taking you guys through the points that I feel that are important for you to be able to have a sound financial audit. Now, obviously you can go further than this, but the guide, and what I like about it is that it's very detailed. It breaks it down. Here on the video, the points that I'm going to be talking about, it's basically more so of a summary of that guide, but the guide breaks it down beautifully, and it gives you context on each and every aspect. You get to understand what is it, why you have to do it, and how to do it. And that is why I'm highly recommending that you get the guide. But if you don't have it, just follow the video. So the first thing that I want us to look at here is what part of your finances keep you up at night. This is also available on the guide. And if you remember, when we did our draw your life exercise, we did look at what are the things that you are not happy with. So here I want you to look at what part of your finances keep you up at night. For many of us, we're constantly stressed with our finances. There are certain aspects of our lives that make it hard for us to have a peaceful sleep. The amount of debts that we have, the things that we have to pay for, the responsibilities that we have, the festive season coming up. It's a lot of things. So I want you to ask yourself, what part of your finances keep you up at night? What are the things that are really worrying you? So here you can ask yourself, is it debt? Is it you living above your means? Is it you constantly feeling broke? I want you to look at those things and write them down. On the guide, there is a space whereby you can just write that down and say, okay, these are the aspects of my life that I'm not happy with. This keeps me up at night. You don't have to be literally that you don't sleep. It's just a phrase. Whenever you are thinking about your finances, these are the things that constantly come to your mind. I want you to write those things down. What are those things? What are those aspects of your finances that you constantly think about whenever you are thinking about your finances or whenever you are working on your finances? So that's the first thing that I want you to do when it comes to your financial audit. And then the second thing that I want you to ask yourself is, why do these things bother you? Or why are you constantly worried about them? And do you want to change them? Because that is important. You can know that there's a problem, but you knowing that there's a problem does not necessarily mean that you want the problem fixed. It's like, when you have a problem and you share it with your friend and your friend decides to want to give you a solution, sometimes you just don't want the solution. Sometimes you just want to vent and you tell your friend that, hey, I've got 1 and 2, 3, 4, 5 problems. And then you just want your friend to be a listening ear, not to come and give you solutions. So that's why I'm asking you this question. What are those things that are bothering you regarding your finances, and do you want to change them, or you just want to sit with them? If you're drowning in debt and this is bothering you, do you want to change this? Do you have any desire for this to change? If you are living above your means, do you have any desire to change this, or are you okay with it? And this is to say, it's fine if you are choosing to say, I'm okay with my debt. I'm okay with me living above my means. I don't need to change it. Then you don't have to be worrying yourself a lot with majority of the things that do come up in the audit. But if you've got intentions to change any of these things, then this is going to be very, very helpful. The third thing that I want you to do now is I want you to calculate your net worth. If you remember, I created that video where I shared with you that I just found out that I am a millionaire. It just happened that I was able to stomach the fear and actually do the calculation of my net worth, that I found out that I'm actually a millionaire. But another thing that I found out, because this is also very important, I want you to do the calculation of the net worth, because it's not just about knowing whether you're a millionaire or not, knowing whether your net worth is on a negative or positive. It goes beyond that. Someone commented on that video to say that my net worth is over $1 million, but I'm constantly broke. And this is where it actually matters when it comes to your net worth, because the net worth is not really so much so how much you have in the bank, how much you can access now, but rather your value, your entire value. So let's say, for instance, if you were to pass away, these are the things that you would leave for your kids, or if you were to retire, these are the things that you have as your assets. It's basically your assets, the value of the things that you own, in conjunction with the things that you owe. The formula here is to say your total assets, so your house, your pension, your retirement annuities, your car, your everything that you own in terms of value. What is the value? So if your house, you're looking at your current value of the house. The car, what is the current value of the car? Doesn't matter that it's a depreciating asset, it's still an asset. You still have to include it. Your pension fund, how much do you have in there? Your retirement annuity, how much do you have in there? You need to list all of those things. Your savings, your investments, anything that you have that is an asset, you list it here, in terms of its value. And then you then say minus what you owe, your debts now, or basically your liabilities. Here you're looking at, if you've got a house, how much do you owe on the house? If you've got a car, how much do you owe on the car? If you've got student loans, how much do you owe on your student loans? If you've got store accounts, how much do you owe there? Everything that you owe, you detail it down here. And then what you say total assets minus total liabilities, and then you will get your net worth. Now here you want to look at whether your net worth is on a positive or on a negative. If it's on a negative, that means that you are owing a lot than what you own. So you have more liabilities than assets. So you want to work on improving that. You want to work on paying off things so that you can start building up your assets. And if it's on a positive, then that's good. That means that you have more of what you own than what you owe. But now what you want to then look at is how much in terms of positive is this. So in terms of now you're looking at, okay, I'm sitting at 100,000, 200,000 or 300,000 positive net worth. Here you then want to ask yourself, okay, if I want to improve it even further to get to a million status, what would I have to do in order for me to get there? And that question of someone who said, I'm a millionaire in terms of my net worth, but I'm constantly feeling broke, I want you to go back and ask yourself, what is your net worth largely made up of? Because net worth, as I said, it includes everything that you own. So you might find that for your net worth, majority of that money is from retirement annuity, pensions, or maybe property, but then you don't really have much cash in terms of investments. Like you don't have liquid assets, because these other ones that are like houses and pension, what those are not liquid assets. Those are things you can't just have access to now, the money. But you want to have more of your liquid assets. You want to have more on your investments. You want to have more on your savings, ne? So I want you to investigate your net worth. What is it made up of? And I took time to look at mine, and I asked myself, okay, looking at my net worth, yes, I'm on 1 million, but what is it majority made up of? It is largely made up of my pension fund, which is good, but I would like for it to be the opposite. It is also largely made up of my property. So I want to change that. I want to get to a point whereby at least I push to pay off my house, and also I push when it comes to my investments and savings. This for me will help, because now I will have more liquid assets, and there will be a balance. There will be some sort of a balance between my liquid assets as well as my other assets, such as my pension fund and my property. But for me, when I looked at my net worth, I said, okay, I'm so happy that I'm on 1 million mark, that I can consider myself a millionaire. However, looking at this million, what is it that I can do to improve it? I want to be a multimillionaire, but first, right now, for me to get there and get there beautifully, I need to beef up my liquid assets. I need to beef up my investments. I need to beef up my savings. I need to beef up those things, and then I need to also push in terms of paying off my house. So that for me will make my net worth to even be more healthier, more crispier. So for that person, for you who was really concerned that as much as my net worth is saying this, but I don't feel like it, I really want you to ask yourself, what is it largely made up of, and what can you do in order for you to improve that? Because at the end of the day, your net worth is not really even if you can have millions and millions on your net worth, does not mean that it's money that you can have access to. So it also means that for you need to work on your finances. You need to work on your finances so that you reach a point whereby you have financial freedom. And reaching financial freedom means that you are working on your finances on a monthly basis in terms of improving it. Now that we understand the net worth and why it's important to just take time to evaluate it, don't just calculate it and see where you're sitting. No, you calculate it and then analyze it. And then once you've analyzed it, then come up with an action plan. The last part when it comes to this financial audit is for your behavior. I need you to take time to analyze your behavior, guys. The reason why many of us are struggling with our finances is because of our bad financial behavior. It's because of the things that we do and not do regarding our finances as it pertains to our finances. Here, I want you to ask yourself, what do you do when you get paid? When you know that there's going to be money hitting your account, what do you do? How do you feel? What are your actions? How do you approach the situation? Because that tells you your behavior regarding money. What do you think? How do you act around money. So I want you to look at your financial behavior. On the guide, it goes further into this in terms of analyzing your behavior, the things that you are doing and things that you are not doing, where you need to, it gives you prompts that you need to be responding to in order for you to get an understanding of where you're sitting when it comes to your behavior. Because for many of us, we are really struggling because of our behavior. Our behavior, yes, our mentally we may say, yo, I want to do this, I want to achieve this, but then our actions, they say the opposite. So it's very important to analyze your financial behavior. Ask yourself, when you get paid or when money is going to hit your account, what do you do? That will give you an idea of what is it that you're struggling with when it comes to your financial behavior. And then you will then know how to deal with that. So now that you have done your financial audit, you then now need to do the following steps. These are the things that you need to start doing, using your financial audit. So the first one is looking at your financial audit. You then need to get an understanding of where are you when it comes to your finances. Are you currently drowning in a lot of debt? Do you have a lot of debts that you really would like to pay off? Then you need to come up with a debt payoff plan. You need to come up with a plan that will allow you to attack your debts. The whole point of a financial audit is not just for you to have an understanding of your finances, but it is for you to go further than that. Say, now that I know where I stand with my finances, that I've got so many debts, that I'm living above my means, that I'm constantly broke, that I have this, that I'm struggling with 1, 2, and 3. What is it that I can do in order for me to improve the state of my finances? If I want that dream life that I created in that first episode, these are the things that you will need to do in order for you to improve your finances. So it's not enough for you to just know your net worth, to know that your net worth is made out of this, to know the amount of debts that you have, but it's a matter of, now that you know, what do you do with it? So that is also just as important. So if you find that you have a lot of debts that you would like to pay off, you need to come up with a plan that will allow you to pay off these debts. You need to come up with a plan of action. So on my website, I've got a debt repayment guide. If you don't want that and you want my services directly, where I help you come up with a plan, and I've helped so many people when it comes to this, you can just book a service with me. It is a 1-hour session call. We'll talk on WhatsApp. We'll go through your finances. We'll come up with a plan. And this costs 680. It's a once-off fee on my website for that 1-hour session. So you need to create a plan. If you are struggling with sticking to your budget, you budget, but you don't know how to stick to your budget, you need to be looking at your systems. How are you managing your money after? You've set a budget, but then now what are your systems that you've put in place that allows you to make sure that this budget is effective? So you need to ask yourself, what are the things that allow you to implement your budget? So if you don't have those systems, it's time for you to put those systems in place and also align them to your behavior, align them to your personality. So for me, I know that I'm a person that struggles a lot with card in terms of being able to swipe everywhere or being able to shop online. I struggle with that and temptation. So what I'll do is I've then put in systems such as cash budgeting in my financial planning that allows me to make sure that I'm fully effecting my budget. I'm fully implementing my budget, and I'm making sure that I'm sticking to it as much as possible. So cash budgeting for me is that system. And then also another thing is I do weekly allowances. So weekly allowances allow me to make sure that I do not crawl to the end of the month, but rather it allows me to make sure that each and every week has allocated amount that will help me tackle the needs of that week. Because we don't just have needs when we get paid, but there are needs that we have leading up to the next payday. So budget for the entire month. So I want you to ask yourself, what are the systems that you have in place that can allow you to make sure that you are fully putting your budget, you are allowing your budget to be effective. If you don't have those systems, ask yourself, what are the things that I can do or put in place that are in line with my personality that will help me make sure that I'm sticking to my budget and living within my means. And then lastly, if you realize that, you know what, this thing for me has just showed me that I need to increase my income. So maybe you need a new job, you need a better paying job. So here as well, you can start applying for other jobs that will pay you more, because then the more that you get paid, the better you can be for in terms of having more money that you can allocate towards your goals. This for me has come in very handy. Me growing in my career has honestly helped me a lot when it comes to advancing in my goals and the things that I've set for myself, because when I increased my salary, I did not increase my living expenses, rather I increased my savings and investments. So if that's the case with you, that you've realized that no, I need more income, and you don't know where to start, maybe let's say for instance your CVA is not up to par, I've got the CV editing services that you can book, that way I can look at your CV, edit it for you, send it back to you, then you can put out a CV that you're confident in, and you're highly likely to secure a job with the proper written CV that details your work experience, your skills, as well as the knowledge that you have regarding that job. You have far better chances of securing a job that way than when you are sending a CV that says nothing about you. So that is it when it comes to this financial audit. And as I said, you can just get the guide on my website. It will help you to go through these steps and make sure that you're fully taking time to analyze your finances. But if you can't afford 150, you can just follow the prompts that I've shared in this video and allow them to guide you in terms of the things that you need to do. But I will say that the guide, it goes further into this and breaks down some of the components even better than just this video. So now that you understand the things that you have to do, and honestly, the last bit of this video, I just wanted to share with you that the tools are there, the assistance is there. You just have to know how to tap into it or where to get it. So my services are always linked on the description down below. Everything is on my website. I've got one of the best websites that I designed myself. I'm very proud of that website. It has all the information that you need. I'm wishing you all the best when it comes to this, and I'm hoping that you are going to use this so that it allows you to propel further when it comes to your finances. I want us to change our lives. I want us to close off 2025 having seen the progress that we are making in our finances. So on the next video, we are going to be doing our vision board. Very, very excited for that. That episode is going to allow us to now then put some visual graphics on the things that we want for ourselves, and then after that we are then going to set up our goals for the quarter, because we said this is our 90-day. We are trying to make this transformation in 90 days. So we'll be setting our goals in the next video, and then on the last video we're going to be talking about systems that you need to be putting in place in order for you to win. Habits and systems for you to put into place so that you can win with your finances. So I'm hoping that this second part of the video was helpful, and I'm honestly encouraging you to sit down and do this audit. It's very important that you do it, because when you do your financial audit, it will allow you to have clarity when it comes to your finances. If you feel that, okay, in this clarity that I've received, I now see that I do need help, then book my services, book that one call with me. But obviously, during the festive season, I'm not going to be available to take any calls. I'm going to just block out those times. I'm not going to be available around those times to take any calls or any bookings. Even when it comes to CV editing during the festive season, I will not be editing any CVs. So just make sure that whatever that you're needing assistance in, that you're doing that before the festive season, before we get into, that's in just 16 guys, 17, 18, and Sabambek. With that being said, I'll see you on the next one. Please take care and stay safe. Bye.